You know it, we know it, everyone knows it. There's a wide variety of anime out there, but the popular ones involve the best genre. That's right, folks, ecchi anime. But there are so many anime out there that go beyond ecchi. So, today's list consists of the top 10 I can't believe it's not a hentai. Before we start, be sure to subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon and set us all to be notified about our latest videos. At number 10 we have Valkyrie Drive, Mermaid. The story is of a bunch of girls being trapped on an island. The Soul Eater, but with premise of the action scenes. All of this, as I said, pretty much is an excuse for oppas and yuri, and the characters primarily exist to fit specific fetishes. In that regard, both the plot and characterization do a pretty good job. This is, putting it simply, a softcore anime. It exists primarily to arouse the viewer. Nothing more, nothing less. The story is simply an excuse for seeing sexy girls interact, fanservice-y fight scenes, and borderline hentai scenes. Dare I say it. The truth is, actual hentai anime tends to be stuck with very small budgets. Meanwhile, softcore anime can more often afford significantly better production values, and I much rather enjoy a softcore show with decent production values over a chicken scratch hardcore ovas. At number 9 we have Manyuu Hikenchou. In this one, it's all about oppai. Oppai gives you power. Oppai gives you fame. Oppai gives you wealth. And oppai gives you respect. And so, as you've realized, the plot revolves around oppai. The bigger, the better. Chifusa and her attendant Kaede travel around Japan to reach its final destination in order to learn the ultimate technique, oppai flow. This technique allows to control the form of oppai, and thus allows to enlarge or reduce oppai. But only Chifusa's clan is able to master this technique, and Chifusa's goal is to give all women bigger oppai in order for them to be happier, because if you're a flat-chested girl in Manyuu Hikenchou's world, you're worthless. Well, whether you're going to watch this anime because of plot or plot, it's worth it either way. At number 8 we have Yosuga no Sora. First of all, let's make things clear. There are scenes within the series, and this component usually makes people want to simply watch the series as a hentai. If you are planning on doing so, you'll be trading a great anime with horrible hentai, because those scenes are short and not very exciting. The story is very unique instead of having a million girls liking the main character at the same time. The story focuses on one heroine for a few episodes, then goes back to a save point and starts a new story with the next one. The plot of this anime doesn't really make you think, this anime is awesome, I gotta watch the next episode. It's more of the feeling of, why are the characters doing that? Maybe the answer will be in the next episode. That's the main difference, I feel personally. And it's that they intentionally leave out some important details in a matter that we become interested so that we try to figure it out. At number 7 we have the Qwaser of Stigmata. There are many wizards called Qwasers, capable of bending specific ailments to their whim. A secret arm of the Russian Orthodox Church has some of the most powerful wizards and uses them to hunt heretic wizards. The most powerful of the church's paladins is Alexander Hell. This is, of course, not to be confused with Helsing's secret arm of the Catholic Church and their heretic hunting paladin, Alexander Anderson. This is totally different. It is up to Alexander or Sasha to kick ass with his scythe and protect his harem of big oppied ladies. How does he get his awesome powers? Drinking the milk, of course. How else would a wizard get his powers? Apparently, one underage Russian isn't enough, and soon the church sends another one to assist Alexander. The story pretty much solely consists of fight scenes and oppai. I couldn't enjoy the flow of the show because it was so thoroughly distracting. The show couldn't make you keep a straight face because every time you were serious for a battle, you just had to see some. Everything that the producers and writers and developers of the last 30 years have tried to hide was totally shit on. At number 6 we have Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? Following the story of 4 high school youths, the show creates its couples and romance through various lewd encounters, ultimately resulting in the unlikely teacher and student duo becoming a couple by the end of their roughly 3-episode romp. Each episode follows the same formula. Student is in a completely normal setting, at least normal by school anime standards, promptly sees their teacher involved in said situation. Interactions ensue. Some act of God causes them to fall into a literally impossible situation involving skinship. To put it in the most straightforward way possible, this show is fanservice fest dealing with raunchy, unbridled ecchi. The plot is hardly noticeable as you'll be far too distracted into the fanservice than anything else. The pose, cute moans, and those colorful choreographed camera shots are what you'll see all the way for each episode. Beach episode? Check. Trashy drama in the infirmary? Check. Sexy Santa outfits? Check. In fact, you'll be checking off a list of ecchi content on the bucket list by the time the show is over. Number 5, we have My Wife is the Student Council President. The story is extremely straightforward. We have Student Council President Ui, who one day announces that because of an alcohol-influenced agreement between their parents, she is to become the fiancée of the Vice President and protagonist, Hayato. Thus, they start cohabitating together, and they quickly get very intimate with each other. Cue lots of lewdness. Uncensored lewdness. It doesn't quite reach the level of ecchi legends like Kiss X Sis, for example, but it's still pretty damn hot. But it's more than just that, because honestly, the relationship feels a hell of a lot more natural than most coupling you see in anime. Oh, and make absolutely sure to watch the uncensored version if, or when, you pick this anime up. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever to watch it otherwise. At number 4, we have Kiss X Sis. The story revolves around a junior high student. Keita is your average easy to relate to guy, struggling to get his grades at a certain level so he can go to the same school as his sisters. Yeah, his twin sisters. Actually, they aren't blood related, but their parents married while they were still young. Now, normally that wouldn't be much of a problem, but this time both are madly in love with him. Throughout the anime, they both try to win his heart, often causing him to fail at what is trying to. As the story continues, he gets more and more interested in them, and that even results in a few spicy scenes. Well, what am I saying? I guess you could say this anime has quite a bit of borderline hentai scenes. Now, don't think because of that this anime is bad, because it isn't. It's very lighthearted and enjoyable, just as anime like this should be. Yes, very, very enjoyable. You should watch it with your family. No, I'm kidding. Don't watch it with your family. And if you don't want your butt being spanked by your parents, oh lord, don't watch it. At number 3, we have How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Here we go again. Yet another transported into another world anime. It's a fantasy series that some random dude who managed to beat the game knows its innards, specs and whatnot, and then suddenly finding himself in the actual game, with a bunch of girls that are reverse magical slaved and self-locked into our MC with boobs, touches, and physics. Follow the Demon King Diablo on his every step of the way, going into towns, countering allies and enemies, showing off his overpowered skills and tactics, every so often while finding a solution to rid those chains. And also, who doesn't want to watch a perverted main character have his subconscious way with hit and miss intentions of the harem? When you just want to sit back with chips and a beer, enjoy a good show filled with fan service, dirty humor, and a goofy badass protagonist, this is the cocaine you've been looking for. At number 2, we have Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. So the story starts off with our main character, Kogarashi Fuyuzora, going to the hot springs for a place to stay, which also happens to have a ghost haunting it. But since people claim it's haunted, the place stays pretty cheap. I should also note, the room he's staying in is the haunted room of the hot springs. Now Kogarashi has a power to send ghosts running in just one punch. So with that ability, he can take advantage of the cost and send that ghost running without having to worry about a ghost messing around with him. But that ghost happens to be a female, which will also be our romance protagonist. And of course, a guy doesn't really want to hit a girl, and her name is Yuna. I should also mention Kogarashi has an ability to force ascend a ghost before they become corrupt. But to do that, I believe they have to have a lingering regret. But I could be wrong. So Kogarashi asks Yuna what her lingering regret is, so she can ascend. And she doesn't know what her lingering regret is, but that gets explained why later in the anime. Which I won't spoil, of course. Aren't I such a good guy? So Kogarashi is determined to make her happy to find her lingering regret. Now that that's finally out of the way, we can finally move on to the art. This is probably the most risky anime I have seen in a while, even with the censorship. But yeah, this anime is definitely worth a watch. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the ecchi genre. And number 1, we have High School DxD. High School DxD is an anime that has been praised as the best ecchi ever made. And in a way, that is accurate. Seriously though, it is an ecchi. For all of you ecchi haters, stay away. Shove down your masochistic tendencies and walk away. This is not an anime you are going to enjoy. So we start off with Issei, a typical pervert who peeks on girls with his pals at high school. One day he meets this girl and goes out on a date with her, and well, Issei gets killed by this girl, and she turns out to be a fallen angel. So in Issei's final seconds, he thinks about a girl called Rias, who he saw earlier ago, and he ends up summoning her because she's a demon. And this is where our adventure begins. The story goes on till episode 6, with filler, fan service, and the plot is kind of messy at times, and hell at times. Hell, I was wondering, am I watching anime or a softcore hentai? There's many opais and a lot of shit going on, and you're gonna get confused. At one moment, Issei's progressing the story by learning something, and in another second, he's being a pervert and there's opais everywhere. Issei is a total badass and should never be underestimated though. This is a must-watch. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, but also, guess what? We just hit 300,000 subscribers. Holy cow. 300,000 people watch this channel. 300,000 people are subscribed. And that's 300,000 people that we have entertained and have cared for. We care for you guys deeply. And thank you so much for being there for us. And I hope that we have been there for you. Honestly, I am so proud of our community and the anime community. You guys are what keep this channel going, and you guys are what make anime great. So thank you deeply for watching this channel. It means a lot to me. I love you guys.